right. Thank y'all for tuning in to Shoes Off Talk. What's going on? What's up? This is your boy Floyd. What's up? What's up, Christy?
What's up? It's your girl Christy.
Look good. Uh-oh. Yeah, okay, now. I know y'all like, well, okay. It's two of y'all, so where's the other two? No. No, but they have some important things to do today. Lavelle and Tim. Yep, they're always gonna be missed. But let's get this thing going. And this is going to be a topic that most people can go with. Okay. It is called How Much Should a man or woman, make to be with you? Okay. So keep that in mind. How much should a person make to be with you? Christy.
Floyd, this is your show. I'm letting you take the reins on this one.
Well, okay.
First off, I just want to ask, you know where I'm going to be at, Floyd. You got your shoes off?
Look, I got my shoes off.
Yay!
There it is.
My boy
there
Floyd
it is.
he always listens.
Come on now.
He already knows.
Look.
He's already ready.
Come on.
That's what I love.
See,
I love Floyd.
some people, it's like shoes off talk, y'all. Let's get it straight,
yeah. And I'm really excited that you're taking the reins on this one, Floyd, because I really like to listen to you talk and hear your opinions. I think it's.
Oh. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so let's hear it. Let's hear
it.
All
right. So with me, I say like, with a woman, for me to be with a woman, the woman should have something that is more than money for me. Because money, we can make that all day, every day. But I would say it's more deeper than that. I would say they have to have some type of ambition, some type of strategies to say, okay, now, you know how that whole thing is, where are you going to be in 5 years? What are you going to do in 2 years? Stuff like that. If you're going to be somebody, go somewhere, you got to pay attention. So you pay attention, you go, do your goals, write everything down, and then we're gonna be able to make things happen. But as for money, I don't care. I really don't care.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Floyd, which is really interesting because I know so many people that's like priority. Like I used to live in Scottsdale, and like I call it Snotsdale, and people would have no problem coming up to you and saying, "How much money do you make? What do you do?" I'm like, "What? Do you want my my taxes too? Like, you want my bank statements? Like what? Like this is crazy. Like why does that matter? What I make should not matter. It has nothing to do with who I am as a person or your ability to get along with me. Why should that even be a question?" But I understand it is on the top priority for a lot of people. Like you think about it, some people even put that over love. It's like, how much do you make? Am I going to be financially stable? Like that matters more. They figure the love will come. For me, it's the complete opposite. But I actually have one of my best friends. She had told me like when she was dating and in the dating scene, that was her top priority, was to make sure that the man was financially stable. Now, definition of financially stable is different for everyone, right?
Right, that's right.
So it's like, is financially stable mean you can take care of yourself and pay your bills, or you can support both of us, or you can pay your own stuff and have maybe a little bit of cushion? Like, what is financially stable?
I mean, with me, financially stable is just like you say, for me, financially stable is having the ability to support everyone in the household. Okay, it's not addressed to just your spouse or just your husband or just this person over here or just that person. It's everyone in the household. Okay, if you got kids, them too.
Now, see, the reason I don't think this should even be a question in a relationship is because I feel like everybody should be able to support their own. And if you come together and you combine whatever's going on, it's going to be nothing but great. But you shouldn't go into it expecting that person to support you. So, like, the number one thing for me is um, I have 4 kids and a grandkid. I don't want to be your mommy too.
Mm.
I don't want
Mm.
another person mouth to feed. I don't want another person to take care of. It come together and we can join forces and be there for each other and feed each other.
Okay.
But don't expect that from me.
Right.
Don't don't be another responsibility for me to have to take on. So, which is different now than when I was younger. When I was younger, it was like, oh, you don't own a bank account or, anything in your name, and that's the cardboard box over there that you live in. Like, that's okay. That's okay. We got this. We can create something together. And now I've raised enough men. I want a man. Or no, I'm sorry. I don't really want a man. Take that back.
No, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Words are powerful. If I have a man come into my life where we're enjoying our time and company and sharing laughs together, I want him to be a man. I don't want to raise another boy.
Right. I mean, see, that's the thing, though. It's like when you talk about a man, now there's a thing with the okay. When you're a certain age, okay, then they always say, "Oh, you're a man now. You're a man now." Okay, to me, age is not consider you a man.
Right.
Okay, it's like you can be 35 years old and still be a boy.
Yeah. Exactly. So true.
So I mean, it's like if you're gonna be a man, man up. You know, if you need to get out there and work 2, 3 jobs just to make ends meet, make it happen. You know, do what you got to do.
Right.
You know, but hey,
Right.
hey, I'm only telling y'all this because I've had to do it.
And the thing is, we all have times in our life where we have our low points. So nothing against that. You're going through a hard time. You need to move back in with your parents because whatever you need to figure shit out.
Oh yeah,
you
yeah,
lose your job, like that. There's nothing against that because we've all been there. We've all had hardship. What I'm talking about is then purposely there's people out there that try to find a sugar mama or sugar daddy to support them because they don't want to have any responsibility.
Right.
So that's what I'm talking about. Like, yes, it doesn't make you a man if you're out there looking to be supported by a woman. If you've lost your job, if you are going through hard times, then that's understandable. We all go through it.
But okay, let's talk about that for a minute. If you lost your job, like if a man lost his job, how would a woman, you as a woman, how would that get you? How would you feel about that? Like,
I
now
understand. Okay, well, I got it covered for right now. What are we gonna do to get you back on your feet?
Is that like quick and it hurts?
What do you want to do? Well, the thing is, then I've raised my kids that you do what you love and you don't work a day in your life. So my whole purpose is don't get a job just to get a job. What's your passion? What's your love? What's your hobby? Let's get you a job where you're doing that, even if you're not making that much. Let's downsize. We don't need to have a mansion. We need to be happy. We need to be happy, healthy, and whole. So you don't, if we're not making the type of money that you were making before, and we can't afford this house, let's downsize. If your job, even if you don't lose your job, if your job makes you miserable and you can't stand going to work, how can we figure this out that you can make money doing what you love doing? So if you lost your job, or if my man, I don't have a man, but if I had one and he lost a job, that would be the first thing is what do you love doing? Or I would see the talents, which is actually this has happened in my past, where it's like they wanted to go for big positions, making big money, and I was encouraging different positions where I knew that they would thrive because they love doing certain things, artistic, and so I'm like, okay, let's try doing this. Why, so I always encourage, um, don't go for the money, go for what you're happy at doing.
So that's more so all money ain't good money.
Correct. All money is not good money.
I man.
Turn down a lot of money. It's not all good money.
Yeah, man, I haven't had the opportunity to turn down any money. Well,
Well, I mean, I'm sure there are things that if somebody came to you with a request and said, "I'll give you this amount of money if you would do this," there would probably be some things you would
yeah,
question.
now that right, yeah, I probably would. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
more likely I would. Not, yeah, because thing. Now, don't get me wrong. It's like I like to like work and stuff. I've worked pretty much all my teenage years and adulthood. So, but the thing is that at some point I'll be like, okay, it's time for me to retire. Like, man, I don't even want to get on that. That's a different topic. But
Ready to retire.
oh my God. Okay.
You're ready to lay up on the beach, your feet up.
Well, okay, yeah. Let's address that. Let's address that. Now, my whole idea about retirement is when you actually retire. This is not retire and go and get a part-time job or going to get something on the side and stuff. I'm like, no.
That's what people do now. People never retire.
It's like, right. I'm like, why are you retiring if you're going to go do something like that?
Right.
Retirement means you retire from working. Now, if you have your own business, if you're doing something like that, then okay, we can. Yeah, that's cool because you're doing your own thing and you're investing that way. That's great. But I'm talking about people that are working 9 to 5 for somebody else. Okay. Now, if you're working 9 to 5, somebody else, and you retire.
Some people can't retire because they feel like that's what they live for, and if they're not working they'll just wither away and die. It's like doesn't give them purpose. So if you retire, I feel like you have to trade that for something else to give you purpose, whether it's starting to serve at the church that you go to or whatever it is. It can be in service of others, but you have to find something to fill that void. Otherwise you'll just go crazy. And I think that's what happens with a lot of people. They go into retirement and they're like, I can't just sit here doing nothing. I could sit on the beach all day doing nothing, but it's I think it's hard for a lot of people that have been like on the go and they're go getters and they like being out and they're social. Okay. So it's like, okay, if you're social and you're used to that, then find another social activity that you're around people where you can retire and enjoy your life, but you don't have to be working.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just get to a point that just recently, one of my coworkers, he had retired, okay? And he was it goes back into the whole uh how much you know how much money do a person need, right? He just retired, so which means what? His income status has changed now. So why is it his significant other has said you have to make sure you get something else so that you can accommodate the income that we need.
So retirement is meant for people that have raised their kids, they've moved on. So we have to have a certain amount of income when we're raising kids. We need a certain amount of bedrooms for a house that we're living in. We need all that. Retirement's for when the kids are out of the house. Now you downsize. You don't need to live that lush life that you needed to when you had children, or you needed a certain amount of rooms. Not that children need all that much, but you do need more when you're supporting other mouths.
Right, right, right.
So now retirement should be able to downsize. That's what it's meant for. So the significant other doesn't want to lose all that they have. They want to keep up that lifestyle. Retirement's supposed to be like, let's get rid of all this shit and travel the world. We'll be like 10 up at the beach.
Yes,
Like,
yes,
like
exactly.
you don't need to stay where in the box that you are. You've lived there your entire life. Now you don't have that 9 to 5 you have to go to every day. We can hop on a plane. Hell, we can sell this house, get an RV, travel the world. Like,
Right.
there's nothing constricting us, keeping us home. We don't have to take the kids to and from school and all the stuff that they require. It's no, let's pick up and lay up on the beach somewhere.
They go to the beach.
Can you tell I
They
like
go to
the
the
beach? Where am I gonna retire? Somewhere
That's
next
right.
to a beach. Hey, why do you think like I'm talking about creating a retreat somewhere on the beach? Like, yes,
Wow.
we need to be
So,
on the beach.
so basically, we know where to find Christian.
Yes, on the beach. And some people don't set up for retirement, and that's why they keep working because they don't have the finances to do that. In which case, you really got to have a job where you can work on the beach. That's what I'm talking about.
What is it called? Cabana? Get a cabana on the beach?
Yes, exactly.
Man, it's so crazy on how this life is when it comes to our minds, how we think about certain things, especially money, especially relationships, especially uh, people. That it and it's crazy on how all that ties into it. You're going from here. It's like a triangle.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, it's always going to be, well, not always, but it's one of the things that I see. If you are a certain type of person, that's going to determine what you go for, what you look for. If you are the one, like when we say gold digger, if you're a gold digger, then you're gonna go get somebody who's gonna allow you to be a gold digger. If you that one that just want to be there and have that simple life, go.
Yeah. Well, what is it? Finances is the number one reason for divorce, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's the number one. Top the top five.
The top five.
Top five, but I would say it's number one.
Yeah.
Because it's
We're
stressful.
arguing about finances and
Yeah.
have different opinions of what to do with the money that is coming in. Yeah. And when you're talking about the one, I say you got to look in the mirror and realize that you are the one.
We don't do that.
I do that every day.
Well,
yes, you are the one, girl. I love you.
You are the chosen.
Beautiful. You are strong.
Yeah.
Yes.
But see, it we don't. If it's us, that is the one that needs to do better. We don't see that.
Right.
It's like we know we need to work on something, but then we won't admit it.
Yes. Being open in a relationship always for constructive criticism and realizing when you screwed up. Yeah, I could have done that better. I'm sorry. And being able to say sorry because so many times we don't want to admit when we're wrong, right? So.
But what happens because we don't admit it, and because of that one word, pride.
Yeah. Ego. Anything.
And that then pride is one of the things that destructs any type of all that pride. It's like if you don't get that under control, if you don't realize it, that that's what you're doing, that's what's going on with you, then you're gonna disrupt relationships all through your life. No, I mean, get on board. Have that communication. Have that talk. Have that understanding. Have everything you're supposed to have within your relationship.
Right.
I'm
Not
like,
that communication. I think
oh
we
yeah,
talk about it. Number one, communication.
oh yeah, that's
Because if
communication.
you get together in a relationship and you don't have these conversations of what you expect in a relationship, then it's not going to work. Because then things come up in the relationship and you're like, wait a second. And there's things that should not even be a problem, like finances. Hey, this is where I'm at. This is my idea of how relationship. If we get married, I don't want to work. I want to stay home with the kids. Or if I'm going to have kids, I want to stay home with kids. Like, you should put that out there, so there's no expectations that husband doesn't marry you and then all of a sudden is like, wait a second, you quit your job? Why? Well, because I had a baby. Well, get a nanny. Like, there you should have these conversations beforehand.
Yeah.
What you expect, even like what the expectations are, with the how you're going to divvy up the household chores, sex, like how many times, like compatibility, if you're sexually compatible. These are all conversations that you should have at the beginning of a relationship, so it's not a surprise. So you're not like in it, and then all of a sudden, wait a second, you wanted me to keep my job? I thought you were going to support me. Now we're married. And I think a lot of people have assumptions. You don't talk.
Yeah. And that's what it is. They don't talk. Don't talk. And that's why you have a lot more separations. That's why you have a lot more divorces. That's why you have a lot more fighting and arguing, all kind of stuff going on, because of that communication. But then on the flip side of that, when you do communicate, you do have sometimes, depending on the person, I ain't gonna say not everybody, but you do have sometimes that communication is like now they're over. When I say that they're overdoing it, it's like I'm playing devil's advocate now.
Oh, I know. Yes.
So when they overdo it, then now it's like you need to get out. You need to.
Yes. You know what my sister and I call that? We call that loopers. There's people that they like to circle and talk about the same thing over and over in 50 different ways, but they're saying the same damn thing. Yeah. It's like, oh my God, my head hurts. Stop looping.
Yeah.
Yeah, loopers. Yes, loopers. It's like, I got it. This message the first time. Done. We don't need to talk about this again. Yeah, don't loop. And that was actually a thing in my last relationship. I'd go loop because we had this conversation. You're like, loop. It's like, got the point. We don't need to beat the dead horse.
Right.
Like, got it. But then also, when it comes to communication, it's never have that communication when you're feeling a certain way, like high emotions, because they can be misconstrued and not it's not going to come across the way you want it to. So if you're heated or you're upset, and a lot of people, it's like I've had relationships before where I have a tendency, like, I want to process. Why am I feeling this? So I'm a processor, and too slow of a processor for some people. But I'm like, you know what? I need to check out right now. Like, let's just part ways. Whether that's different rooms or even take a walk, whatever it is, we'll discuss this later. Maybe I need to sleep on it. Maybe I need to sleep. We'll discuss it tomorrow. Maybe I need a day or two. Maybe even a week. Who knows? I need to process all these feelings. And then I can communicate what I'm feeling, why I'm feeling that way. Because a lot of times it can be, you triggered me from something. Why am I triggered by that? It could be something that happened from my childhood. I don't even know why. So in that processing time, I'm like, okay, I was triggered by that, but it has nothing to do with him. It has to do with something that happened in my childhood. We don't do that these days. We want to attack. You asshole, this is your fault that I'm feeling this way. No, it's really not that person's fault. So, like, I'm a big believer instead of reacting, when you get that feeling like, oh, I want to hit him right now, like, take that back and be like, you know what, we need a break. We need distance. Come back, always in a loving manner. You should always have conversations and discussions with your significant other when you're calm, cool, collected, and there's no emotions there. You're not heated anymore. You've gotten over it, even if it takes a week to get over it. Now let's talk about this. Like, I'm cool. I can talk with you about this. You know I love you, but this is how this makes me feel, and this is why, and I just wanted you to know. So it's not like yelling. It's not coming from a place that that person is feeling attacked. Because then what happens is now that person doesn't feel safe. Now they don't feel like they can open up. Okay. Now they don't feel like they can communicate with you. So the next time something happens, they're going to shut down. And it's just like this cycle of toxicity that we create within our relationship.
Well, when they shut down, they bring up these walls that is now it's like
hard to break through.
Right.
And then that comes into intimacy because now they're not going to want to be touched. They don't feel safe. They built these walls. They don't want you to touch them. They don't want intimacy, let alone sex. So that's where I think a lot of the issues come in a relationship where one person or maybe both stop having sex with each other. It's deeper than that. It's these walls they built up because they don't feel safe because of these arguments happening in a certain type of way or these conversations happening in a certain kind of way.
So tell me this. All these walls are built. They can have like 7 by 14 brick walls all right there, right? They have all these walls. But their man, a woman has all these walls, but their man is paying for everything.
They're still fine. They're in their little castle dome here, and they're like, I'm good. Just be over there. I don't want to be touched though. Continue to pay for everything. Just don't. Then because they're like, I have everything. I'm being fed. I got a roof over my head. Don't touch me though, because I got these walls, and I don't really feel safe with you. You can still pay my bills.
But wait a minute now. Hold on. See, that's the thing. It's like if I'm paying for everything,
right.
I'm like, okay, I don't care if you're bad. Come on over here.
And that's where the communication comes. That's when you have to take that little hammer and nail or whatever and go chip, 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 chip. Say, come here, girl. We're gonna work this out. We're gonna break down these walls, and it's tough though because we spent so many years building those walls. To break them down is not easy.
Be rough, like, man. But as it is, though, I mean, it just goes back to what type of person you actually want to be. Like, I see it as if you are a supportive person, if you're really supportive, the money will not be the focal point of anything.
Matter. Shouldn't.
Right, because your whole intent is to figure things out together. If you're like at that point and if you're on your last straw of about to get evicted, what are you gonna do? You're gonna argue about it?
Most people, yeah.
It's like
most people will divorce over something like that.
But see,
because it turns their life upside down. But instead of coming together and being like, we're in this together, we're going through this together. I've got your back, you got mine. That's how it should be.
Right.
But instead, it's like, well, you can't support me anymore. It's unfortunately that's what happens when life tests us and turns things upside down. How do you react in those moments? What is your integrity? What kind of person are you really? That's how you find out. But then you get to choose. Who do I want to be? Do I want to be this person, or do I want to be supportive? I want to be this person that's like, I'm out, peace out, or am I going to be a supportive person, putting my arm around my husband, saying, I got your back. It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. We'll down.
We're gonna go into the studio apartment, you know.
We're gonna move in right here. Camp up. Tim will come in and we'll be like, "What the hell are you doing here?"
I got a massage table right here. Hey, we can.
The perfect bed. The big table right here. Actually.
I know, right?
Put some pillows and a blanket, and we're good.
Man. And we got the refrigerator, microwave.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you have to be able to get, down and dirty with your spouse, especially if there's anyone you should be able to get down and dirty with and rough it out with. It should be the person you chose to spend your life with.
And which makes it sad when you get in that position and then the wife or the girl or whatever, she says, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go over here. You have to deal with this. Once you get it straightened out, let me.
Okay, then that builds trust issues with the man, because how can I trust my woman who's not going to stand by my side?
Exactly. It's sad, but they're out there.
Yeah.
Wow. That it's just so funny of how we are as a society and the way we think about certain things. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm for the making sure that food is on the table. The roof over your head, everything. I'm for all that. Yeah, I mean, everybody should have that. But what I'm not for is, you know, roughing it by yourself. That's what I'm not.
I'm okay with that myself. what I'm saying though is, you attract in a partner. Well, it's like the people when I lived in Scottsdale coming up to me asking about my finances. Like, there's no way I would take those people seriously. So if you find the type of person that you see. If you're the type of man that doesn't care and he's, who knows, has enough money that it doesn't matter if a woman comes into his life, that is a gold digger. He might not care. He might look at the exchange, like the business exchange, and be like, okay, I've got some nice arm candy around but then I'm also paying for bills. Like, okay, it's a balance. It's worth it for me. I think you attract those people. The type of men that don't mind it attract those type of women, and those type of women find those type of men. And the people that the finances don't matter, they find other people like them, because like energy attracts like energy.
Right.
So I feel like, we all find who we're supposed to be. But to me, honestly, money in this life, it's currency. It gets you from point A to point B, but it doesn't fulfill you. It doesn't make you happy. It's not worth your arguments, your fights. It's not worth divorce. There's so much more to life than money. That should be like the last reason you argue with your husband. Whenever there's financial issues that come up, the first thing should always be, I got your back. We got this. We'll figure it out together.
It is.
Maybe you shouldn't have gone out and bought those golf clubs. Maybe I shouldn't have gone out and bought that new outfit.
Right.
Let's take it back.
All them Amazon boxes.
Right.
That's it's a trip on how stuff like this can just trickle into one thing, one to another, to another, and it all ties into the one.
Yeah.
Wow.
The one.
The one.
He's the
The
one.
one.
But we are all one. We're all connected, right? These are things that we're learning through each other and through ourselves.
I mean, one thing about it, if we learn from one another, and we learn some stuff. We will learn some stuff. Wow. But is there anything else you'd like to say, Kristen?
Geez, I think we did a good topic today. I think this is a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Enjoyed
good.
this. And I really enjoyed hearing you talk more, Floyd. Usually you sit in the corner, you're just like, I'm not talking, I'm gonna let them talk.
Yeah.
I really enjoy hearing your opinion on these things. Because you're like the only one here that has been married for 26 years. 26 years, people. Like that deserves like a huge round of applause right there. That's tough. Relationships
Yeah.
are tough. The fact that you guys have, been together for 26 years, life together is definitely something that needs to be celebrated.
Thank you.
And if
Appreciate it.
anybody should be talking about relationship stuff, it's you. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed hearing you.
Oh,
Hearing
thank
you
you.
talk today, Floyd.
I enjoyed your conversation. I really did. But okay, let's go ahead and end this thing. Remember, y'all, Choose Off Talk. Tune in every Thursday, 12 noon, Saturday at 5 p.m. And yes, Larvell and Tim will be here next time. I will make sure of it. If I have to go to their house and just drag them here myself, they will be here. All right? All right, y'all. All right, like we in all shows. Love, peace, and soul.